the general manager and the staff of Four Seasons Resort Mauritius, and distinguished guests. It gives me great pleasure to be here this evening. I went to one and only the other day, and then to Constance. Today was a difficult day for me, but I made a point of being here, especially I know the family since a long time, and also I didn't want to give the impression that I skipped here. The reopening of the Four Seasons resorts here brings back pleasant memories. Anu just reminded me, I think it was in 2006 when he came to see me in my office, my second mandate, to show me the plan that he had, which we approved, I must say, and I'm glad I approved, because look what you've done today. At the time, it represented far more than the launch of a new project. It was far more than this. It marked the further transformation, what we wanted to do, to achieve. Transformation of Mauritius as the luxury market destination. I must admit, when I was, as Guillaume knows and Arnaud knows, but I don't know who else knows, my wife knows, I write my own speeches. I get some ideas. I can't know everything. Even though you're Prime Minister, you don't know everything. And I was trying to think, what would I say today? And my mind drifted to Antonio Vivaldi's Concerto for Violin, composed in 1723. His magnificent masterpiece, The Four Seasons. And I asked myself, what would he say? What would he have felt if he had stepped into a Four Seasons hotel today? What music he would have been inspired to compose? When you walk into a Four Seasons hotel, especially this one, nested in such, we've seen such rich and lush vegetation. I didn't know about the seahorse. You quickly realize that at Four Seasons, there is only one season. A season of peace, of love, of tranquility, a season of joy and happiness, a place where nature reigns supreme. The success of the Four Seasons brand rests on a baffling, simple principle. Treat your guests and your employees as one would wish to be treated. It's an old saying. I must say, I myself stayed at Four Seasons Hotel, especially in New York. And I can attest to the unwavering consistency with which this philosophy is upheld. Treat your guest as a special guest. The story of Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts has rightly been described as a tale of continuous innovation, attention to detail, and a single-mindedness, dedication to the highest standards. Here in Mauritius, we witness that same culture, this unflinching commitment to excellence, meticulous attention to detail, and a deep sense of genuine care. At first time I'm meeting Martin, but when you see him speaking, he's speaking from his heart. You can see it. He wasn't even looking too much at his laptop. This is the spirit that we should always define in our tourism industry. This evening, after an impressive and ambitious transformation, this resort stands once again as a powerful symbol, one of renewed confidence. Confidence in our hospitality sector, confidence in the long-term vision we all pursue, and confidence in Mauritius. Tourism remains one of the strongest pillars of our economy. It attracts investment creates employment and sustains communities across the island. This year, I think some of you do know, tourist arrivals have continued this upward trajectory. We are on the course to exceed 1.4 million visitors, with earnings projected to be over 100 billion rupees. These are encouraging figures. It reflects the synergy of the partnership between government and the private sector. That is part of the success story of Mauritius. But as I always say, we cannot sit on our laurels and think we're doing great. Progress cannot rely on momentum alone. To remain competitive in a global market that is evolving rapidly, we must continuously raise the standard of quality, innovation, and cultural richness that we offer. Our future success rests on the three key principles: sustainability, competitive advantage, and a long-term strategy. You know, we are not the only country these days which offer sand, sea, and sun. We have to offer something else, and we can offer something else, different. Travelers today seek destinations that protect the very environment they come to experience. Green tourism is so important today. The initiative taken here to conserve marine conservation, you mentioned the seahorse conservation project, resource efficiency, waste reduction, all these demonstrate that luxury and sustainability can go hand in hand. This aligns also with our national vision of a tourism industry that safeguards our natural heritage while building on long-term resilience. Mauritius, as I said, must offer an even wider range of experiences: wellness, gastronomy, culture, golf, ecotourism, so that people will want to stay longer and come back again. To support this evolution, government will shortly introduce digital recognition at our borders and a new digital visa. It's totally unacceptable. You know, I must tell you something. When I got our port of Paris to build the new airport, as usual, when you're in politics, you get criticism, because many people don't have this long-term vision. But when we were building the airport, we were also, I remember speaking to the Minister of Public Infrastructure, we have to make sure the connections. We have the connections. We built the Terre Rouge-Verdun motorway. It was not just one by one. It was a global picture. You cannot have a first-class country without a first-class airport. We all know, it's first impressions that count. The tourist first travel, 12, 13 hours. He arrives here. He sees a beautiful airport, an icon. We were, at one point, I don't know whether it's still the same, we were congratulated and given a prize for the best airport in the Southern Hemisphere. And then what happens these days? He comes to immigration, he queues, or she queues. It is totally unacceptable. You can't travel 12, 13 hours and then you queue for a long time at the airport. It's not acceptable. So we are changing this with what I mentioned, the new digital visa, the measures for recognizing the person who comes in. These will change this. The long queues, I am sure, will be a thing of the past. And you saw also one of the great advantages, the competitive edge that we have, is our genuine welcome to tourists. People feel this welcome. Mauritius is unique in that sense because of its people, our cultural identity, our language, our creativity. Just the other day we celebrated the Festival International du Créole. It was a powerful showcase of our traditions and artistic value and vitality. For the first time, I must say, I'm told, hoteliers and ARIM collaborated directly with this organization to make it a success. This partnership amplified the festival's reach and impact, demonstrating how culture and tourism can work hand in hand and reinforce each other. We look towards to expand such initiatives as part of our cultural and destination strategy. The changes at Four Seasons is a reflection, here at Anaita, is a reflection of the policy of government to encourage modernization of the hospitality industry. These investments, massive investments, send a clear message that Mauritius is confident, is competitive, and committed to excellence. Just as important is the development of Mauritian talent. I'm glad to hear, I just heard from Martin, that during the renovation period, many members of the Anaita team had the opportunity to work in Four Seasons properties abroad. They have returned enriched, new skills, new perspectives, and a deeper understanding of the global hospitality. We need this, not just in the hotel industry. I was just mentioning to Guillaume, in the medical field, in other fields as well, in law as well. Just the other day, just to let you know, I talked to a law lord who was here, invited by the judiciary, but he met me in my office. I said I want to restart cases of Privy Council to be done here in Mauritius. The law laws do not travel anywhere else, but they did when I was Prime Minister before. It saves money because not everyone can afford the Privy Council. It costs a lot of money. So they are agreeing. I think we'll come to an agreement that they will come back in Mauritius to store cases that go to the Privy Council. This is the kind of knowledge transfer that elevates our national workforce and supports long-term economic growth. I was just in London recently. I wanted to have a checkup. I haven't done one for 10 years. I thought I'd do it to curtail the ambitions of others in my party. Him number one. And I was amazed. I worked at University College Hospital, which is the top hospital in London. I was amazed at what they're doing today. With AI, they checked everything. They tell me I'm in good health. Should I say how many long years they said I will be able to go on? But this is the kind of knowledge transfer that we need. It's so important. I also invited people from different sectors, including veterinary services from abroad. You see the treatment animals get in this country? My father used to say, the English are successful because they know how to treat animals. An animal is not just a pet. You have to provide service. That is why I'm insisting on doing a big, modern veterinary hospital 24-hour service. Very often people tell me the dogs or the cats are not well at night. They can't get a vet. these animals will also have ambulances. A 24-hour service. And you need to, there's, Mauritians like to learn. I'm sure, Martin, you found this out. But we must also get them the opportunity to learn. I'll tell you a story. I invited some vets from London, they were all from London, to come and teach the vets here. Now let me tell you a story. These are the kind of difficulties we are. He knows he's a new junior minister. He knows what we're going through. You get vets, top vets, from Oxford, from London, to come and teach the vets here. And what do they do at the ministry? They invite vets, but only vets who work in the public sector. So I asked them why. Why don't you invite the vets from the private sector? Because what we want? We want them to learn. So why do you restrict it to the public sector? So they came. They were invited. I didn't manage to go to listen to them, but on their way back, I told them to drop home and we can have a chat before they go to the airport. And one of the young vets, pretty young, I asked him how was it. His first thing he said, he was amazed by the number of people who came. And then he said, but I noticed something, that the older vets didn't like the fact that we were here. I speak with me, what you see, you get. He said they didn't like they seemed not to like. I said, how do you know? He said, I was talking about how many dogs have diabetes in Mauritius. I'm sure many of you will be surprised. The old vet said, first of all, he said, well, what you've told us, we know already. So he said, he was a young vet, and he said, well, tell me something. How many dogs have diabetes in your, that you've seen? He said, none. Doesn't exist. The guy said, well, I've seen already the statistics for Mauritius. What do you give the dogs? He said, the same thing we eat. He said, well, how is it that your population is a high level of diabetes in Mauritius? But how is it you're telling me your dogs don't have diabetes? He said, no, it doesn't exist. But he's an Englishman. You know what he did? He said, okay, after the lecture, what are you doing? He said, I'm going back to my surgery. He said, I'll come with you. Let us test 10 dogs and see how many have diabetes. So he went. They tested 10 dogs. How many do you think had diabetes? All of them had diabetes. Just to show that it is important what you're doing. You have to have this exchange. And tourism succeeds when the public and private sectors move together, forward together, with a common vision. Government's role is to provide the foundations for confidence, strong institutions, modern infrastructure, and clear strategic direction. And the private sector's responsibility is to innovate, to invest, and elevate the quality of the Mauritian experience. The reopening of this iconic resort is therefore more than the start of a new season. It is a reaffirmation of our endeavor to excel on the world stage. It reflects confidence in our future and our determination to keep advancing, even in an increasingly competitive global environment. I need to really extend my warmest congratulations to the Ciel Group, Riviero Four Seasons, also to the new CEO, he's been here 2 years, and also every member of this ANAITA team for your devotion, your insight, your perseverance. Your endeavor strengthens the reputation of Mauritius and contributes directly to the ambition we share as a nation. Mesdames et messieurs, un établissement hôtelier n'est pas un simple prestataire de services. It's more than this. Il offre des prestations que l'on peut, à juste titre, qualifier de personnalisées. Des services façonnés selon les attentes du client. Il vient chercher notre pays, dans notre pays, le soleil, le confort, un éloignement bienvenu de la routine de son quotidien, mais aussi un service européen. Mais ces instants de bonheur ne proviennent ni des bâtiments, ni des chambres, ni des équipements. Ils laissent avant tout des individus, des femmes et des hommes dont la chaleur humaine donne son âme à chaque séjour. This is what makes Maurice different. Ce sont eux qui, par leur présence, leur écoute, leur sens du service, transforment un voyage en un souvenir précieux que le visiteur portera avec joie dans son pays. Je souhaite ici rendre hommage tout particulièrement à ces nombreux employés et cadres qui font vivre l'établissement. Par leur générosité, leur compétence et l'amour qu'ils portent à leur métier, ils permettent aux touristes de repartir chez eux avec une part de cette hospitalité mauricienne qui fait notre réputation. C'est ainsi que nous concevons le tourisme, que les politiques qualifient de pilier de notre économie. Oui, c'est un pilier. Et nous sommes nombreux à reconnaître que notre pays a en effet une véritable vocation touristique. Mais quand on regarde de plus près, et avec une certaine fierté, on constate que pour l'île Maurice, le tourisme n'est pas seulement une industrie, c'est une passion. C'est sans doute ce qui a inspiré l'un de nos grands poètes et écrivains, Édouard Monique, lorsqu'il affirma que, je cite, « Nous sommes les lendemains des siècles à venir ». Une phrase qui résonne encore aujourd'hui, tant elle exprime la confiance, l'ambition et l'élan qui caractérisent notre nation. Mais laissez-moi, moi aussi, avant de terminer, également de vous adresser dès à présent mes meilleurs vœux pour les fêtes de fin de l'année. Merci.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for these wise words. May I invite you to remain with us on stage for a few more additional minutes as we're about to